Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited today. I had such a great coloring month. I colored quite a bit more than I normally do in a month. I think I have like 18 pages to show you. And I reached my first channel goal. So thank you everyone who likes, subscribes, comments. It really does help the channel. And let me get to that first. I don't do a lot of stats, so this won't take more than a minute. But the wow one is I passed 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So I went from 984 to 1,115. So it's up 131. Yay! I'm so excited, and I'm not too sure why, but I don't know if I should make my next goal like 1,500 so it's more attainable, or just to go for the 2,000. I think I'm just going to go for the 2,000. I don't know what other channel goals I should set, but if anyone has any ideas, let me know in the comments. And Instagram, I went up 6 more, so I'm getting close to the 1,000 there as well. So I'm up from 906 to 912. I did complete 18 pages, 4 from Untouched Books. I'm probably not going to do this Untouched Books anymore because usually my Untouched Books are the books I just bought. There's very few books in my collection that I haven't colored in. I'm quite compulsive when I get my book, and I'm dying to color in them as soon as I get them. Great news, I did 5 whips this month. I started off-ish with 59, down 5. I thought I had 54. When I really counted them fairly, when I did my whips video, I'm up to 55 now. So that's really good because I think in January I was at 64. And so I've done about 9 in 3 months, which I think is really, really, really good. I had 1 buddy color with Christina's Art Corner and Bubble of Coloring. Every few months we work on a double page spread in Dramanger and Vanganger by Tomislav Tomic. And I'm probably going to show you mine. They're still working on theirs. There's no stress and rush in this. We don't want to get stressed out over coloring. So everyone is really chill about when we get our pages done. So I'll show you that. Yeah, I have it on the first stack is here. So that is everything I have in my stats. And the first book I want to show you is Wildflower Folk by Christine Karen, and I love the page. I did struggle with it a lot, and I don't know why. I think in the beginning of March, I was having this color issue. I didn't know what colors to color things, and I tried using that book that I have with the color palettes. I tried using my color palettes that I have on Pinterest, and I just couldn't get to it. So this took me a while, but I'm so happy with the result. Now let me see what I used on this. Oh, I based her skin and her hair with the Ohuhu alcohol markers, and then I went over it with my polychromos for everything except for this background that I used pan pastels on. So I really, really love the way she came out. I love the gold brown eyes I gave her. I put some freckles on her face. I'll bring it up even closer so you can see. I put freckles on her. Ooh, I should go out a little. And I don't know, I just really like it. And I don't do darker skin tone that often, so I'm really, really pleased with how she turned out. And then I didn't really know what color to do her hair. like this is more like a natural color, you know, like a dark brown black with some highlights in it. But at first I was thinking of doing like pink hair and purple hair, and it just, I couldn't, I don't know. I never got started on it, and I just decided to go with black, and I'm really happy that I did. So I love this page, and yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. I don't think I used anything. Oh, I did use some gold Signo. I didn't write that down, but I can see it here. So otherwise, and a white gel pen. I think this is a Posca pen for the highlights on her lips. So that is what I did in Wildflower Folk by Christine Karen. Next, I have Dramanger and Vanganger by Thomas Love Tomic. And we did, or are doing, this double page spread. Let me see if I no, I don't need to come out. There we go. Well, there we go. So that's the double page spread. I also had some trouble deciding what colors to make this. I knew what I wanted to do in the sky, and you know, the trees were apparent to me, but I didn't know what to do with all this armor and her dress because the background was so colorful and I didn't want them to get lost in it. So I reached out to my buddies in this, and we kind of worked through it, and they really helped me pick like the blues, and I went with more an aqua. And then, you know, orange is one of my favorite colors, so I threw orange in as well as like the contrasting color. And I made her hair natural, like a brown. I didn't think I needed to add any more color to anything else because there was so much color in this, but I really liked the way it came out. I'll bring it up closer so you could kind of see. There is some gel pen on it, but it's mostly all glaze. I don't really have anything really super shiny on it, but I used a watercolor base for the majority of it. And then I went over with my Prismacolors, and then just a bunch of gel pens. Gel pen glaze is, like I said, is mostly what I used, but I think I used some Moonlight here and there as well, but both Jelly Roll. So that is what I did in Dramanger and Vanganger. I'm probably going to show it again next month just to show you how beautiful my buddy colors are going to be. So that is Dramanger and Vanganger by Thomas Love Tomic. Next up is a new book to me. This is one of the untouched books, but I did just get it, I think, in February or maybe January, but I don't think so. I think this was February. So I did my first page, and I really like the way this came out. Now, I bought this book to be a like relaxation book in between harder pages, but I don't know if I could let go of my need to shade and make it look 3D and add extra color. I really tried just to use the alcohol markers. It's almost all alcohol marker. And as you can see, this is the third time this has happened in 2 months that I didn't notice that my, the page I put in between slipped out. So I got this triangular, mess over here, and I don't know, maybe that's going to help me for an additional page in April, how I fix this. I have no idea how to do that yet, but I will work on it. So I did try to just shade with the alcohol markers, but first of all, I'm not that great at it. So like when I had to do the leaves, I didn't exactly know if like these hard lines would work on the leaves. So I did just kind of like a center stripe, and then I didn't like that. So then I started shading. And once I started shading that, I had to shade his face and a little bit, I think, on the hat. This I tried to do only with the alcohol markers, but I really, really like the way it came out. And what did I use on? Okay, the Ohuhu alcohol markers. And then I use Prismacolors and gel pens. And I'm really happy with it. So that is my first page in Funny Tales by Kevin Teo Art. The next book is Kawaii Tarot by Lulu Mayo. This is also, it was an uncolored book. Again, I had just purchased it the month before, but I did this first, I don't think it's the first, oh, it is the first page. I did The Fool. And I like the way it came out. But thank goodness for Pinterest, really, because I didn't realize this was a tree. I mean, I knew this was bark. I just didn't know what this stuff was. I don't know. It was very, very complicated. So I'm glad I looked up Pinterest, realized this was a tree, so I at least kind of made it green so it looked like one. On this page, I used, again, I'm sacrificing this page behind it. I don't really, first of all, I could still read it through the alcohol marker if I really want to. And yeah, I read what this said, but then I'm not going to ever read it again. This is not like an interest of mine. I don't follow tarot. So for me, this is all about a coloring book and making this as pretty as a picture, making it as pretty a picture as I can. So I'm okay with sacrificing the wording in the back. So I used the alcohol markers and just the Jelly Roll glaze in some spots. The rest is all alcohol marker. There's no shading with pencil or anything else. I didn't shade that much. I just shaded pretty much the cat and a little bit around the tree. But I still like it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really fun. I've talked about this before. I find alcohol markers extremely stressful. I don't know why. I think I just said, I think it's because once you put an alcohol marker down, there's like no going back unless it's a light color and you could use Prismacolor on top. But I think that's the reason why. So I'm still getting used to feeling relaxed around my alcohol markers. And this was really a great way to start because I love the way it turned out. So that is from Kawaii Tarot by Lulu Mayo. Next up, I have Symphony of Cute Animals. I don't know if I counted this as my previously untouched books because I have the Japanese version that I have colored in. Then I saw this at our local Michael's craft store and I decided to try the American paper. And I do understand why some people prefer Japanese over this American paper. I'm kind of flipped. I still prefer the American paper. Yeah, it's smoother. It's hard to get a lot of layers of pencil on there, but I had so much difficulty with the Japanese paper that this is a dream. So I did, because this is the first page, I did this name, it's not the nameplate page, I don't know what, I guess it's the title page. I did use alcohol marker. Again, I don't care about sacrificing this page. And I wanted to see how alcohol marker worked. And, you know, I doubt I would sacrifice any other page in this book. Oh, it's not the first page. It's the second page. So I did not count this. So I still did only four. I still have done 4 untouched books. But I wanted to see what the alcohol markers were like, and I had them out because I was working on the other books and I was trying to get better at them and less stressed about them, as I just mentioned. So on this page, I did the alcohol markers that I just showed you. At first, I started with watercolor and I did a watercolor background. Then I started watercolor on this and it got messed up. So I decided to go with the alcohol markers to try to fix it, and I like it. I think it came out okay. I mean, the black and gold doesn't really fit that much of the like colors behind it, but I tried to add in the red. Originally it was a lighter color, and then I made it darker with my pencils so that it wasn't so pastel looking, which it was originally. Then I used, it says Prismacolor pencils and gel pens. And again, here I used the 3D Jelly Roll Glaze quite a bit. And I like the way this page came out ultimately. I had some problems with my gel pens or with the alcohol marker. I touched it in a spot. I had trouble with this. But I think, all in all, I think it's saved. So I'm happy with it. So that is the second image I've done in Symphony of Cute Animals by Kanoko Agusa. Next up, I have Forest Girls, and I did my first page in here. And this was really early in the month, so I don't remember very much about it, but let me find my note. Okay. I used Albert Dürer pencils and polychromos, and that's all I've used on it. There's no gel pen. And, you know, I have this bookmark here, and I put it on, and I think I'm leaving it on. I really like the cat on the windowsill. I think it looks cute. I mean, I don't have good enough drawing skills that I think I could actually draw a cat in the window. But for now, I think I'm leaving my cat bookmark in there. So I don't really have much to say about this. I mean, it's all Albert Dürer's, and I wet it. So I did that first, and then I went over the top in some spots with the pencils dry, especially in the curtains, to try to make them look a little bit more 3D. I don't think I did an enormously good job there, but I do like the rest. And I went pretty close to everything from the original. I did make obviously more pink, and I did a brighter dress, but otherwise I think everything is pretty much the same. And this is just a small piece of, I got this from a catalog because a lot of these details are not in the coloring book, like especially the patterns of things. Like you see the pattern of the dress there, there's no pattern here. And that was true here. It was just an empty white frame. And I just had a catalog near me, and I cut out a little section of what looked like a beach scene, and I just glued it in. And I like it. I think it came out kind of cool. So that's all I have from 8 Poles Forest Girl. The next book is Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. This is another book that's on my 25 for 2025, and a book that I hope to complete someday. I have not a lot. I got more than some books, but I'm going to get there eventually. And I did this page, and I like the way it came out. I used Ohuhu markers, alcohol markers, and then I used Prismacolor pencils in some spots, like around her skin. But in other places, like the hair, I decided not to really do any shading at all. I thought like the individual color strands made it colorful enough. And yeah, I want to make this, I would like to make this a stress relieving book. So I wanted this to be my cute and simple kind of book. So I decided in this case not to really shade. I still have one whip that I did a little bit more with the watercolor, and hopefully I can work on this in the next month. I don't feel that inspired by this page because I'm having trouble seeing what things are. I looked at other people's, and apparently this round circle or this oval is part of her hair, like a bun. So it's a little difficult for me to see what I'm coloring, but I will get this done probably in April, if not May. So I hopefully will get another whip done. So that is what I did in Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. Next up, I have Shooting Star by Maria Trolle, and I did this page. And I think it came out okay. I don't know if it's the background color that I don't really like or the choices of the leaf colors. I don't know. I don't love it. Again, I have trouble with indicating a light source like from the stars, but I think that came out okay. I just used a white, I think, Prismacolor pencil. I do like the way the flower pods turned out, but yeah, it's okay. I neither love nor hate the page. And I used my Albert Durers for the most part, and they did fine. They didn't wrinkle the paper too much. And I did go over with Prismacolor pencils, especially this background. I could not get like a really smooth, with my watercolors. So I had to really go over quite heavily with my pencils. The rest I left with watercolor and didn't really go over too much with the pencil. And it says gel pen. Okay, there's the Jelly Roll glaze on the moth's polka dots, and I think a little bit around her face and her shirt, but very, very minimal. I tried to do as much watercolor as I could and just minimal shading with pencil. So that is my page in Shooting Star by Maria Trolle. Up next, I have a new to me book, Glam Noir by Carla Magana. I think this is my second page. Oh, no, it was the first page I did. So this went for Color Your Hoard March 2025, and I did this page. And it's not the best coloring I've ever done, and certainly I regretted putting the white lines in the hair, but I really got this 1990s feel from it, so I looked up what popular 1990s colors were, and it was a lot of this pink, blue, and orange, and this purple thing. So, yeah, I like it. I think it was really fun. This, again, is mostly Ohuhu alcohol marker. I'm not sure what else I used. Sorry, I just got to look at my... Oh, yeah. All I did was alcohol markers and a white Posca pen. So everything else, I don't think I wrote it down, but I think this cheek color looks like pencil. It doesn't look like alcohol marker. So yeah, I might have put a little cheek color in there. Otherwise, it's, 99% alcohol marker and this white Posca, which I kind of regret doing, but it's okay. So that was my first page, and I thought this was a fun book. This is like my first Carla book. So, I know there's like a Facebook group that does something every month, but I don't know if I would work on this every month, but they're fun images, and with alcohol marker, it's kind of like a cute and cozy book to me. So yeah, so that's what I did in Glam Noir by Carla Magana. Up next is Ink House by Rory Dobner, and I completed a whip in this book. I only had one whip, so that is it. I get to cross this list or this book off my list of unfinished pages. So I did this page. Now I had a lot of trouble with this page, and I had to go over it because I really disliked the colors I was originally making them. Like this was pink, and you know, I just went over it with a lot of pencil, and I looked up a color palette on Pinterest, and I saw that this, like, what goes with yellow and purple, because those were the two that I picked. And then this turquoise and a tan came out, and a darker purple. So I did that. I had made his shirt originally red and black stripe, but I went over it with a gel pen to sort of get rid of the red, because it certainly was distracting. And I think that's why I didn't finish the page. It did not look cohesive at all originally. So I'm really glad that I worked on it. I used watercolor, and I went over with my polychromos pencils, and then I used a black jelly roll glaze. I put some gold in spots, and that I think is, I'm not sure. I think it was also a jelly roll, not a Signo white, but I did use the Signo white pen somewhere. I think I cleaned up some of the lines with it where I went over with the watercolor. So I'm really happy. I get to take that tag off. It's no longer have any whips in it. So it is a book that only has completed pages in it, and not very many of those, but still, I got rid of a whip. And speaking of getting rid of a whip, I worked in Alice in Wonderland by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And I have two whips in here. This one, to be totally honest, I have no idea how to finish. I don't even think I have the skin color in a paint pen anymore. So I don't know how to do this, but I'll figure that out another day. I did have this square was a whip, so I finished it. And you know, it's a small little thing, but I really enjoy doing it. I am not going to consider this a whip because there are two squares missing. I sort of count these in my head as individual pages. The whip is only because I had started it but didn't complete it. So on this, I used my acrylic markers. Then I used the polychromos. I think the polys are her hair. No, that kind of looks like paint pen as well. But yeah, and then I used a gel pen. I started to take out the black lines in her hair, but the orange that I had was awful. It was too much of a kind of like a day glow orange, and it didn't fit with her hair at all. So I tried to scratch it out. I couldn't scratch it out completely, but I pretty much left the black lines almost everywhere. I don't know, there's something with the hair that it just didn't pop with that day glow orange in it. So yeah, so that's a panel that I've completed, and that's one less unfinished page in my list. So that was Alice in Wonderland by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Up next, I have another new to me book. This is Oceans to Stars by Lydia Fendwick. And I worked on this page. And I really like the way she turned out. I did the contrast in colors mostly. You know, I added a little gray and green. But I really like the way the orange and blue were working. I love the way her hair turned out. And the sky, I think, came out pretty cool too. And on this page, I used my Albert Dürer watercolor pencils. Then I went over some of it with my polychromos pencils. I did use the Thule Art acrylic markers to try to hide the black lines in her skin. I don't think I did a fantastic job with that. It looks extremely messy, and I think a little too thick. I have the medium point ones. I really made a mistake when I ordered those. I think the fine are the better way to go. So yeah, I did the best I could with that. because in my gel pens, I don't have any real skin tones, and it always looks odd that I use a yellow. So someone told me, you know, why don't you buy these? And I'm like, oh, I already have them in my stash. How did I not think of them? But it's not, yeah, I think the medium point just makes it too difficult for me to paint with them. But otherwise, I really like it. I use the white Posca pen. I use some of my gel pens where the orange is. And I really just love the page. I think it is such a beautiful image. I'm more enamored with the drawing than my coloring of it, but I really like the way it came out. It looks like a lovely, lovely book to work in. I do prefer these pages, like the portrait pages, better, but I love them so much. I wanted to test the paper out and trying different media to see what worked best in this book. So that is my page in Oceans to Stars by Lydia Fenwick. Up next, I have the Creatures of Ken Matsuda, and I worked on this page, and I tried to match it as much as I could to this, like his original work, and I think I did pretty well. And I got to use my, no, I think this was, what brand is this? Oh, Holbein acrylic gouache. So, you know, once you put it down, it's permanent, which I really like about the acrylic gouache. You know, I already had enough trouble with my watercolors on here, and it kind of like, if I touch this, it starts to bleed out. I had a lot of problems working on this page, and I pretty much forgot to leave the light parts of the image. I kind of went over it and then was like, oh, I did not do all of the light in the original artwork. So I like it. It's not my best work, but I've certainly done worse than this. And it's another page done. I think this is the second page I've done in here. Yeah, I did the cover, the title page. So this is the second one. And I think this is a good book to do gouache in, or at least the acrylic gouache, because this looks like he does a flat background. I don't know what this is, whether this is watercolor or acrylic, his work, but I think it'll fit nicely. And I get to use some of the supplies that I have that I rarely use. Yeah, like that could be a gouache background. So hopefully I can get better with that. You know, I think I like watercolor better, but I think that's because I don't really know how to use the acrylic gouache, on whether you could water it down, because it's pretty thick and it was kind of hard to spread. But these are getting old. I've had them a couple of years, so I don't know if that made the difference, but I just kept wetting my brush and it kind of worked out. So that is the Creatures of Ken Matsuda. Up next, I have Mouse Guard by David Peterson. And I did this page, and I love the way it turned out. I love how bright it is. I really was surprised at how well my butterflies turned out. I know they're not supposed to be the focal point of this picture. I'm pretty sure it's like the characters, but I don't know. I really like it, and I love the way that the butterflies turned out. So I'm happy with this page. And I used my watercolors to base mostly everything, and then I went over with my polychromos pencils to do some shading and clean up some of the lines. So I think I only used the watercolor as a base and polychromos to go over it to do the shading. So that is Mouse Guard by David Peterson. Up next, I have Circle of Life by Malpamani Chattopadhyay, G2. Sorry, I mutilated your name. But this is a book that I'm very intimidated by. And I do want to conquer this fear. So I actually did 2 pages in March in Circle of Life. And, okay, one of them was a whip. This was a whip for a very long time, probably from when maybe when I first got this book. So it was a couple of years old. And I used my Inktense pencils, which really worked nicely in this book. And then I went over with Prismacolor and a lot of white gel pen. So I'm happy with the way it turned out in the end, especially the sky. I really like the way that kind of turned out. Yeah, so that was one less whip in my books. And then I worked on, no, that's a whip. I worked on this page, which I thought was also a whip, but it just says one was a whip. So I don't know, maybe this wasn't, but I like the way this turned out as well. I used the exact same media that I used on the other page, which is a lot of watercolor through the Inktense pencils, and then polychromos where I needed to go to kind of clean things up, to shade. And then I used quite a few gel pens to get rid of some of the black lines. So yeah, I think it turned out better than I thought it would. So yeah, maybe I'm getting a little less intimidated by this book, which I really hope I do. It really is a lovely book. I mean, this is a beautiful, I know it's repetitive, but it is a beautiful double page spread. And if I just keep getting braver with this book, and I think the Inktense worked out so well that might be a game changer for me. Like, that's beautiful as well. Again, very repetitive, but if I worked on it a little bit at a time, it would be a stunner. So yeah, that's what I worked on in Circle of Life by Malpamani Chattopadhyay. So that's it, guys. That's everything I did in March. And this is a bit longer than I usually go because I did all those pages, which I'm really thrilled about. Thank you again, everyone that likes, comments, subscribes. It really helps the channel. It really helped me get to my first goal of 1,000. So that's really cool. Hopefully I can get more people to subscribe so I could get to 2,000. But I think that's going to take several months. But yeah, I'm looking forward to April. Hopefully you've seen my video of upcoming plans. I have a bunch of buddy colors coming, and it's going to be an exciting month. So see you in the next video. Bye, guys.